Today, I'd like to recap an inspirational Korean action movie from 2021 called Shark: The Beginning. The movie begins by introducing us to a man named Yoon, who is on his way home after becoming the youngest MMA world champion. He receives some good news from his mom, who tells him that his little sister is returning home after a long absence. However, upon arriving home, he discovers a gruesome scene. His sister and mother are lying lifeless, and his hand is covered in blood. Suddenly, an assailant attacks him with a rope, but Yoon manages to turn the tables and defeat the attacker. Two more men armed with knives join the fight, but they, too, are defeated by Yoon. In a fit of rage and grief, Yoon continues to pummel them until they are lifeless. Several years later, news of this youngest MMA world champion's actions has spread, and he finds himself sentenced to prison. Meanwhile, at a school, there's a brilliant but timid student named Chawo, who is preparing to continue his education. A new student, Seok, arrives at the school, and he is known for his boxing skills. He quickly gains popularity by defeating the reigning ruler of the school. It turns out that Seok recognizes Chawo as the victim of his bullying from junior high school. Seok starts tormenting Chawo, but his actions are met with resistance from his girlfriend. Seok redirects his bullying toward the girl and intensifies his harassment of Chawo, who pleads for him to stop. When the situation escalates, Chawo defends himself by using a sharp pen to injure Seok's eyes. The story shifts to the courtroom, where Chawo is found guilty and sentenced to several years in prison. In prison, he forms a friendship and aligns himself with a relatively peaceful gang. However, Chawo soon learns that there are three individuals he should avoid at all costs within the prison: a big and strong man, a sharp but short gang leader, and Yoon, the MMA champion, who is also incarcerated there. One day, during a football game among the inmates, Chawo and his friend are coerced into participating. Chawo receives criticism for standing still, and when he attempts to kick the ball, he inadvertently kicks the wrong target. This infuriates the big man, who drags Chawo away. Fortunately, Yoon happens to pass by, and Chawo seeks his help desperately. Initially, Yoon appears indifferent, but eventually, he intervenes, effortlessly incapacitating the big man with a single blow. Despite his newfound freedom, Chawo continues to be haunted by the big man and his gang. On a visitation day, Seok pays him a threatening visit, vowing to wait for him to be released and then kill him. Chawo pleads for forgiveness, but Seok leaves without granting it. As days go by, Chawo remains tormented. One day, while Yoon is training, Chawo approaches him, asking for martial arts instruction. Yoon initially ignores him but eventually agrees after seeing Chawo's determination. However, the path to becoming a student is not easy. Yoon challenges Chawo to run 100 laps around the prison yard. Although Chawo loses badly to Yoon, he continues to push himself, driven by his desire for a normal life free from tormentors. Chawo's determination leads him to push through physical and mental barriers, including vividly imagining encounters with Seok and the big man. He collapses from exhaustion but returns to running, determined to overcome his past and build a better future. The following day, Yoon has a meeting with the prison warden, who offers him special treatment due to his exemplary behavior as a prisoner. Yoon seizes this opportunity to make a request related to Chawo. It turns out that Chawo has been relocated to Yoon's cell to facilitate his training. While Chawo hasn't had the chance to express his gratitude yet, he is immediately put to the test with push-ups and pull-ups. Unfortunately, he struggles to perform even a single pull-up. As the days pass, Chawo's training regimen focuses on mastering the basics, which includes push-ups, pull-ups, punching, kicking, and consuming more food to build his strength. Despite the demanding training, Chawo makes remarkable progress and even surpasses Yoon's expectations. His determination is unwavering, and he continues to train while studying books. Although his friend admires his dedication, he delivers some disheartening news. Hyun is scheduled to be transferred to another prison. While Chao intensively hones his combat skills, he is troubled by the impending departure of his mentor, Hyun. When Hyun questions him about how long he plans to rely on him, Chao finds newfound motivation. Soon after, Chao's friend is accosted and bullied by one of the big man's henchmen. Witnessing this, Chao bravely intervenes and successfully defends his friend, prompting the bullies to retreat. The next day, Chao is summoned by the big man himself. Despite offering an apology for the previous day's altercation, Chao once again becomes the target of the big man's bullying. In a moment of frustration, the big man throws a punch at Chao, but Chao effortlessly dodges the attack and counter-strikes. This leads to an intense fight between them. While Chao lands several blows, the big man's formidable strength begins to overwhelm him, eventually knocking him down. Despite being knocked to the ground, Chao summons his unwavering determination and rises to his feet. With sheer resolve, he delivers a relentless barrage of punches to the big man, ultimately defeating him. Chao's onslaught continues until Hyun intervenes, preventing further harm to the fallen foe. Meanwhile, in the city center, Seok engages in a brawl with gangsters and emerges victorious due to his exceptional fighting skills. His actions catch the attention of a gang leader, who invites Seok to join their ranks and offers to train him. Seok, now affiliated with the gang, works as a bouncer. Back in prison, Chao has grown considerably stronger through his training. His sparring sessions now involve facing off against his teacher, Hyun. Although Chao still frequently loses to Hyun, there comes a moment when he manages to best his instructor. Hyun is immensely proud of Chao, but the joy is tinged with sadness as it's revealed that this is Hyun's last day at the prison. In the days that follow, Chao struggles to come to terms with Hyun's departure. On the following day, the sharp-short man takes advantage of Hyun's absence to challenge Chao to a fight. Initially hesitant, Chao accepts the challenge after the short man makes a unique offer. If he wins, he must cease all bullying activities. A date is set, and bets are placed. The day of the fight arrives, and everyone eagerly awaits Chao's appearance. However, he is delayed due to an unexpected visitor, Seok, who seeks to intimidate Chao by revealing his affiliation with the gang and his intention to wait for Chao's release. Eventually, Chao arrives at the fight venue, and without much ado, they commence their battle. The short man employs an unique fighting style, utilizing his agility to land numerous kicks on Chao. Chao adapts by incorporating Hyun's MMA fighting style, which proves effective. However, the short man skillfully counters, resulting in both fighters sustaining injuries. Ultimately, Chao manages to secure a tight hold, and the fight concludes with Chao declared as a winner. With the fight settled, the gang leaders honor their promise, and Chao and the sharp short man not only become friends but also spend time together. On the day of Chao's departure, he pays a visit to his training ground with Hyun. After their visit, as Chao is about to leave on foot, he encounters Seok waiting for him. Without exchanging words, they head to the nearest open area for a final showdown. Their impromptu fight commences with powerful blows exchanged between them. Seok, drawing from his past as a gang member and athlete, repeatedly knocks Chao to the ground. However, driven by unwavering determination, Chao refuses to surrender and repeatedly rises to his feet. Amid these challenging circumstances, Chao recalls the techniques he learned from Hyun. Implementing these lessons, he delivers a powerful, precision punch aimed at Seok's eyes, causing him to lose control and fall to the ground. In the end, Chao emerges as the victor. As the movie concludes, Chao pays a visit to Hyun, who remains his mentor despite their physical separation. Hyun takes great pride in his students' growth and accomplishments. During their conversation, they discuss the concept of the shark, known for its relentless and ever-awake nature, reflecting on the lessons learned throughout their journey.